Hi, my name is Krystal Taylor. I'm a student at the University of South Alabama, and I am in EDM 310. I am here with Ms. Tanya Lynn from Rosenton Elementary School.
Hello, I'm Tanya Lynn. I teach 4th grade. I have taught at Rosenton for 10 years. I've taught 3rd grade for 5, and I've been in 4th grade ever since. I'm an EMINS teacher. I have completed that in, I think, 2010.
So you say you've been teaching for 10 years. So what are some of the differences that were then compared to now?
Let's see. Well, I graduated from South Alabama with an elementary education degree, so South did a great job teaching us inquiry-based learning, in my opinion, with incorporating literature circles and small group instruction and just kids collaborating in general. So as soon as I finished South, we had ARI training and going straight into EMINS a few years after that. So we've done a lot. So it hasn't really changed too much for me because I started out doing project-based learning and inquiry-based learning pretty much from the beginning. I guess where it's changed is the technology avenue. It's increased yearly with our Promethean boards and smart boards and having classroom computers for an EMINS teacher, and now every student having their own laptop.
Yeah, so teaching in Baldwin County, every student gets their own laptop. How do you like that, teaching in 4th grade?
It works well. For the most part, students have become a little bit attached to their computers this year compared to previous years because we had desktop computers and it was one desktop for every 2 students, and now everyone is just working individually. But I think in the long run, I think it's going to benefit the students as long as we can work on the self-control of student use, which is good because the principals can just tap right in and see what's going on.
So now schools are starting to incorporate a lot of project-based learning. So what is your opinion on project-based learning?
I like project-based learning. I do a lot of inquiry with student learning where they have to inquire a skill, but I also believe there has to be a foundation to the skill before they can apply the skill. So we do use project-based learning in the classroom. It takes a lot of team building and the kids learning one another and being able to collaborate and work together before they can get ready completely to start different projects and do different aspects of a project. But I think project-based learning is what all teachers need to go to because it's applying real-world skills for all students.
So they say that English and math are the hardest to incorporate project-based learning, but you were telling me English is not that hard in your opinion, so why don't you tell me about that?
Well, I don't think English is that hard to incorporate it because you're writing, and English is writing, grammar. So as long as the students are writing and they're giving their opinions and their thoughts, you have incorporated English into your writing, into your project-based learning activity. As far as math goes, for younger levels, I do think it's harder. Say 3rd grade and 4th grade where you're doing multiplication, they just have to learn it. They have to learn how to multiply. They have to learn how to regroup. They have to learn how to borrow. They just have to know those steps. Geometry, in my opinion, is great to use for projects. I was telling Krystal about a project we did at Christmas time where the students had to create something that reflected Christmas. What does Christmas mean to you? And they had to use sticks. Mm-hmm. They could use as many as they wanted to. They could use sticks and rope, and they had to create just anything. And for instance, somebody created a star, and they had to describe the star using math terms. They couldn't just say that's perpendicular. They had to actually what is perpendicular, and they had to do that in a writing activity to present to the class. So it allowed them to use their writing ability and also math skills and within that project. And then another one, something else that we do a lot is our blog, where the students have to use a reading story, a question from the reading story, and they have to answer it in their own opinion and with their own thoughts, draw their conclusions, and it's just a great tool to use in the classroom.
Yeah, so before we close, there's another project that you're telling me about, Encyclopedia Brown, that she used for English. So why don't you tell me about that one?
Well, for Encyclopedia Brown, it was a cross-curriculum activity where we incorporated science, English. We did, I guess you would have some math skills in there, and then also some reading. We read the story Encyclopedia Brown, where he was a detective and he had to help his father. Mm-hmm. And the kids had to really think about why Encyclopedia Brown was so special. And of course, it's because he was a child. So the kids had to really think about that question and apply it to themselves as being children. And then we had, we did all kinds of FBI, went to the website, watched a few videos, and they had to solve some crimes. We had our investigator come to the school, and he did a fingerprinting workshop with the students, and they were fingerprinted. They were able to ask questions. How do you solve a crime? If we had a crime at school, what could we do to solve that? Mm-hmm. And after he left, we set up a crime scene, and the kids had to draw conclusions. They had to write down statements if they were going to investigate. What would you ask suspects? And they had a great time solving that crime, and it was just an experience. Of course, our crime scene was somebody left the gate open to the dog pen, 4th grade. So it was just a great time of learning, and the kids, something they're never going to forget, and it applies to the world we live in today.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you guys for watching.